मॉर्निंग, नमस्कार। एमएससी प्रीवियस के छात्रों के लिए जो महाराजा गंगा सिंह विश्वविद्यालय का सिलेबस है उसके फोर्थ पेपर के अंदर जो सिलेबस का कंटेंट है उसमें एक पार्ट सेमीकंडक्टर फिजिक्स और फोटोनिक्स से रिलेटेड है। सेमीकंडक्टर फिजिक्स, जिसको कि आप हिंदी में अर्धचालक भौतिकी कहते हैं, के बारे में आपने छोटी क्लासों में पढ़ा है। पिछले लेक्चर में भी हमने कुछ बात की थी, कुछ चर्चा की थी। आज हम जो आपका सिलेबस है उसके प्रारंभ से ही स्टार्ट करते हैं। आपका जो पाठ्यक्रम है फोर्थ पेपर का, उसकी पहली यूनिट के अंदर या पहले चैप्टर के अंदर बीजेटी, एफईटी, मॉसफेट यानी कि जो सेमीकंडक्टर डिवाइसेस हैं वो हैं। उसके बाद एलईडी, फोटोनिक डिवाइसेस में एलईडी, आपके फोटो ट्रांजिस्टर्स, सोलर सेल्स इत्यादि के बारे में डिस्क्रिप्शन दिया हुआ है। As far as BJT is concerned, BJT stands for bipolar junction transistors, जिसको नॉर्मल लैंग्वेज में हम ट्रांजिस्टर्स भी कहते हैं। Transistors were invented in the year 1948 by Bardeen, Brattain and Shockley. There are three adjoining alternatively doped semiconductor regions, namely emitter region, base region and the collector region. The middle region, which is normally known as base region, is sandwiched between two N-type or P-type regions. Accordingly, we have two type of transistors, NPN and PNP transistor. All these regions are created by doping. Doping, as you know or you might have learned in the undergraduate or lower classes, doping is the name we give to the injection of the impurity in pure semiconductor. Whenever in pure semiconductor we add impurity, say pure semiconductor means silicon or germanium. Basically silicon and germanium are from fourth group, and if we add third group impurity, what will happen? 3 electrons will form covalent bond with silicon or germanium, and there will be deficiency of one electron to fulfill, to complete the structure. In the language of electronics, this deficiency of electron is termed as creation of new hole, or we say one positive charge vacancy is created in this structure, and that positive charge particle was termed as hole. Hole is basically a particle whose effective mass is equal to the mass of electron, but the charge is opposite to the charge on electron. Alternatively, if we add fifth group impurity, what will happen? 4 atoms will form, 4 electron will form covalent bond, whereas fifth electron will be free. So per atom we will have one free electron, and that free electron is responsible for flow of charge, or you can say flow of current in the circuit. So in N-type region the main current flows due to the electrons, whereas in P-type semiconductor main current flows due to holes. Or in the language of electronics we say there the charge carriers are hole, and here in the N-type charge carriers are electron. These are the circuit symbols, as you know. This is the base, this is collector, and this is emitter region. This is how we represent it. The middle region, sandwiched region, base, is comparatively small though, means the number of impurity atoms in this is very small as compared to the impurity in the collector or emitter region. That is why the value of base current is least in transistor. The value of collector current is maximum, then emitter and collector almost all same, and minimum value of current in a transistor is base current. In circuit we represent it by IB, IC and IE. For all transistor circuits, the value of IC, if you apply Kirchhoff's law at this point, the value of IC is equal to IB plus IE. This equation is valid for all transistor in all configuration. That is, the value of collector current is equal to the sum of the current flowing in base region plus the current in the emitter region. This is a circuit using the common emitter configuration. Before coming to the configuration, we shall say that in transistor the circuit is designed in various modes, because we have three terminals, that is emitter, base and collector. But for any device to work, you will have to have two input terminals and two output terminals. So we require four terminals, whereas in transistor we have three terminals only. So one of terminal has to be common for the measurement of input as well as output. Another aspect in transistors is the biasing. The biasing principle in transistor is very simple. We have two junctions, one is input side and other is the output side. The output side junction is always reverse biased, whereas input side junction is always forward biased. The battery connections are such that in this junction the flow of current is more as compared to the flow of current in the output side junction. So that is why a very small change in the input can cause a very large change in this current, because IV, the base current, is of the order of say microampere. So if you change, if you make a change of the order of microampere, what will happen? Here a change of milliampere in the current will be developed, and that change when passes through the high load will produce more output, and this is the basic principle of a transistor which it works. Accordingly, you have transistor characteristics, input characteristics, output characteristics. Characteristics curves are drawn between this voltage, that is the base voltage, versus base current. When output is constant, output side voltage is constant. Whereas for output characteristics, we plot graph between the IC and VCE when IB is constant. So for plotting output characteristics, the input side current remains treated as constant, whereas for input characteristics, the VI characteristics, in simple words you can say, the output side voltage, that is VCE, is kept is made constant. So this is how we plot characteristics in undergraduate classes. Practically also you must have plotted the VI characteristics in NPN or PNP transistor using common emitter configuration, common base configuration. Coming back to the point, common emitter means if emitter terminal is common for the purpose of measurement of input and output. You see, this is emitter. Here also the input is between base and emitter. Output is between collector and emitter. So emitter terminal is common. That is why such circuits are known as common emitter circuits. And if you use NPN transistor, then the circuit will be named as common emitter NPN transistor. And if you take PNP transistor, the circuit will be named as common emitter PNP transistor. This is how we move. Then this is how the input characteristics curve for common emitter characteristics, common emitter configuration looks like. When you increase voltage slowly and slowly, what will happen? Your base current will increase, but with very few increment in the voltage, the value of the base current, that is IB, increases abruptly. These are the VCE values, VCE1, VCE2. If collector side voltage is greater, what happens? The value of IB is more. So this is how the characteristics curve will look like, and accordingly your regions of the characteristics curve will vary. And this is the shape of the output characteristics. Output characteristics is drawn between the VCE and IC. In this curve, you see we divided it in three distinct parts: the saturation region, active region, and this is the cutoff region. In cutoff region, both BE and BC reverse bias, active region BE forward bias, BC reverse bias, saturation region both are on the forward bias. Here these are the values of base current: IB0, IB1, IB2, IB3. You see, as we increase the value of base current, what happens? The value of the IC, that is the collector current, increases. And this region where the value of collector current, you can say, is neither in the saturation region nor in cutoff region, is known as active region. For most of the applications of the transistor, later on you will know, or in the undergraduate classes also you might have heard about the load line concept and Q point, because whenever you use any transistor for any application, you will have to select the position of Q point. The Q point has to be in the active region. For most of the applications, say for example, if you want to use transistor as amplifier, your Q point has to be in the middle of the active region of the transistor characteristics. Then only the transistor will work as amplifier, otherwise the transistor will not work as amplifier. So this is the importance of selection of the Q point on the basis of the load line concept. So load line concept also we will discuss in the next slide. Here in order to understand this, you can see the three distinct regions of the transistor characteristics are used for different purpose. This is how the operating point is calculated. Suppose if you want to write the value of IC for this simple circuit, you will get it VCE divided by RC plus VCC upon RL, where VCE value, this is VCE, this is VCC, minus the value of IC RC, that is the voltage drop across this. These equations are written on the basis of the simple Kirchhoff's law equation. Now if you see this equation, this is the equation of a straight line. Y is equal to minus mx plus c type equation. If we plot graph between IC and VCE, because output characteristics curve is between IC and VCE, and this equation, if this is on y-axis, this is x-axis, y is equal to, this is slope, minus 1 upon RC, or in some books you will find RL, load resistance, minus 1 upon RL, VCE plus VCC divided by RC. So when this voltage is 0, the value of IC is VCC divided by RC. So maximum value of current will be decided by the voltage of this battery and the load resistance. So if because load resistance is fixed, value of this VCC battery voltage is fixed, so value of maximum current flowing through it is fixed. So this, because this is the equation of a straight line, so this straight line is known as load line of this particular circuit, whose slope is -1 upon the load resistance, -1 by RC, or some people say it as -1 by RL. So this is a negative slope straight line. This is how it will look. This is VCC upon RC point, and this is the 0 point at this when VCE is equal to VCC, because you cannot increase VCE more than VCC. Say if you use a 12 volt battery, value of this voltage at the most can be 12 volt. So if this is 12 volt, your value of current will be 0. Means your transistor is in the cutoff region. No current is flowing in the collector side. This is possible only when IC is 0. Otherwise, VCE cannot be equal to VCC. And if the value of VCE is 0, in that case, the value of this current will be maximum, and that will be VCC divided by RC. So this line shows that maximum value of current is this and minimum is this. Wherever this line cuts the characteristics curve, suppose here it is cutting at this point, here it is cutting at this point. So this particular point is known as Q point, operating point. Operating point has to be in the middle of the active region for the efficient or active working of any transistor. So in order to use any transistor, you will have to study its characteristics curve first. You will have, according to the load applied on it and its other values, you will have to select the value of Q point, and if Q point is in the middle of the characteristics curve, then only your transistor will work, otherwise your transistor will not work. So this is the mathematics behind the working of a transistor, simple mathematics. You will have to understand the load line concept. You will have to understand that you will have to bias transistor first, input junction forward bias, output junction reverse bias, remember. Then only it will work for all configuration. Here we are discussing common emitter configuration. Similarly, you have common base configuration, common collector configuration, and on the basis of the requirement in terms of the output voltage, output current, power gain, voltage gain, input impedance, output impedance, and various other factors, phase reversal, whether output is in the same phase of input or not. These are the factors on the basis of which we select what type of configuration we have to use and what is the purpose of the transistor and in which circuit we are using it. So for that, this type of mathematics, this type of analysis you will have to learn in lab 2, because in MSc, as you know, in MSc previous and in MSc final, you have one lab named as electronics lab. कोई सी भी यूनिवर्सिटी हो, कहीं पे भी आप जाएं, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स लैब के एक्सपेरिमेंट तो आपको करने ही पड़ेंगे. तो आपको अगर कोई दूसरी ब्रांच से क्लासिकल मैकेनिक्स में डी एलम्बर्ट्स प्रिंसिपल मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता, श्रोडिंगर वेव इक्वेशन मुझे अच्छी समझ में नहीं आती, तो बहुत जल्दी शायद पीछा छूट जाएगा, क्योंकि एक पर्टिकुलर सेमेस्टर या एक पर्टिकुलर ईयर तक ही वो चीज़ अपने सिलेबस में रहती है. But as far as electronics fundamentals are concerned, and especially the semiconductor physics, semiconductor electronics, you will have to learn, because there is no other way. You will have to understand the band gap, the band structure, the solid configuration on the basis of which these are designed, because this is how the progress of consumer electronics is based upon, without which the survival in today's world is not possible. So as a student of physics, you must have interest in generating these devices and think in terms of newer and newer aspects. So for that you will have to remember the basic things first. To create interest in any branch of physics, the fundamental point is, first you improve your fundamental knowledge, basic principles. Always start thinking from the basics, from the beginning, from the starting. कितनी इम्प्योरिटी है, कितना क्या है, और उसका भी एक एस्टिमेशन आपके दिमाग में होना चाहिए. In all books of electronics, if you have solved numericals, they say 10 to the power 5 donor atoms are added. 10 to the power 5 donor atoms or acceptor atoms is a very, very large number. But when we convert them into weight, you will find it is very small. And how will you go to the weight of 10 to the power 5 atoms, or 10 to the power 4 atoms, or 10 to the power 5 or 6 atoms? By using the Avogadro hypothesis. Because if atomic weight is say 54, so in 54 grams, number of atoms is equal to the Avogadro number, that is 6 into 10 to the power 23 or 4, something like that. So you will find when we come to 10 to the power 5 or 6 atoms, the weight of that particular substance is of the order of a milligram or even less than that. So for that, you please practice the exercises which are given in the textbook of electronics in terms of numericals. Those numericals are there to feel you कि इतने एटम्स हम जो कह रहे हैं कि 10 की घात 7 एटम, तो हमारे दिमाग में ये आता है कि 10 की घात 7 एटम मतलब बहुत सारा मटेरियल होगा. इनफैक्ट वो बहुत सारा मटेरियल नहीं है, वो बहुत कम मटेरियल है. दैट इज वाई किसी भी सेमीकंडक्टर या फैब्रिकेशन टेक्नोलॉजी की लैब में अगर आप एंटर करते हैं तो पूरी बॉडी का जो क्लीनिंग है दैट इज मस्ट. आप स्ट्रेट अवे एंटर नहीं कर सकते जहाँ पे ये चिप बन रही है, ट्रांजिस्टर बनाया जा रहा है, क्योंकि एक पार्टिकल की इम्प्योरिटी जो हमारे लिए तो एक कण है, वो इम्प्योरिटी के ऐड होने से उस सेमीकंडक्टर के गुणों में आमूल चूल परिवर्तन की पूरी आशंका है. इफ एनी ऑफ यू हैपन्स टू बी टू सीरी पिलानी, राजस्थान के हो, कभी पिलानी के आसपास के भी आप में से बहुत सारे लोग होंगे, वहाँ पे लैब है MMIC टेक्नोलॉजी की, जहाँ पे ये जो चिप्स जिनको के यूज करते हैं आप अलग अलग जगह पर, कंप्यूटर में पूरी एक चिप का ही खेल है. एक यहाँ समझ लीजिए ब्रॉड लैंग्वेज के अंदर एक इंटीग्रेटेड सर्किट है जो 1 स्क्वायर इंच के एरिया में जो सिलिकॉन की चिप है उसके ऊपर न जाने कितने लाख सर्किट इंटीग्रेट किए हुए हैं. इंटीग्रेटिंग सर्किट की टेक्नोलॉजी आगे आएगी, जब हम पढ़ेंगे तो और ज़्यादा आप समझ पाएंगे. तो ब्रॉड एस्पेक्ट में आप इतना समझ लीजिए कि वहाँ पे जो सर्किट्स जिस टेक्नोलॉजी से जनरेट किए जाते हैं, तो आप खुद देख सकते हैं, कभी जाने का मौका मिले तो आपको ज़रूर, और देखने से आपको ये जो मैं कह रहा था कि उस डस्ट के एक पार्टिकल की या किसी एक इम्प्योरिटी की इम्पोर्टेंस मतलब फील हो जाएगी. यू विल हैव ए सिंटिलेटिंग एक्सपीरियंस and then you will start learning physics in a easy way. बहुत सारी अलग अलग वहाँ पे ब्रांचेज हैं, ट्यूब ब्रांच अलग है, सेमीकंडक्टर फिजिक्स की लैब अलग है, और भी बहुत अच्छा काम वहाँ पे हो रहा है। और चूँकि अपने पड़ोस में ही हैं तो कई बार आप घूमने के पर्पज से ही जाएं। इवन देन पास में ही आपका बिट्स का जो कॉलेज है पिलानी, बिट्स पिलानी बड़ी फेमस इंस्टीट्यूट है, उसके म्यूजियम में भी फिजिक्स के बहुत अच्छे अच्छे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स हैं, चाहे वो लिसाजू फिगर से रिलेटेड हो, चाहे कोई दूसरे इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स हों, वो भी स्टूडेंट्स को देखने चाहिए, क्योंकि कितने सिंपल वे में उन एक्सपेरिमेंट्स को डिज़ाइन किया गया है। और उसी तरह के एक्सपेरिमेंट आप अपने घर पर प्रोजेक्ट के रूप में या अपने लैब में आप डिज़ाइन करेंगे तो शायद फिजिक्स में किसी भी स्टेज पे आप बेहतर प्रदर्शन कर पाएंगे, और किसी भी इंटरव्यू के लिए या कहीं भी आप जाएंगे तो आपके अंदर आपका जो मनोबल है वो बहुत ज़्यादा होगा। और फिजिक्स के अंदर यही चीज़ मैटर करती है। इतना सिंपल और सरल विषय है जो कोई भी पढ़ सकता है। आप इसका सीधा सा सरल सा उदाहरण दे रहा हूँ मैं आपको कि जितने भी ये कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं, इसमें जितने भी लोग कोचिंग कर रहे हैं उसमें से मेजॉरिटी जो है वो नॉन फिजिक्स वालों की। किसी ने इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग की है, वो फिजिक्स की कोचिंग कर रहा है, वो नेट की कोचिंग करा रहा है, वो जबकि नेट तक का सिलेबस जो है वो तो उसने कभी पढ़ा ही नहीं है। तो इस सब्जेक्ट की जो सिंप्लिसिटी है वो आप इस बात से समझ सकते हैं। इन सारी चीज़ों को समझने के लिए यहाँ पे आज हम एकत्रित हुए हैं, बैठे हैं, बात की है आपसे। कमिंग बैक टू द पॉइंट, transistor, operating of the transistor, as I told you, has to be decided by a point called as Q point. So you will have to select Q point first, and after the selection of Q point you can work on the transistor. This is again the same how the Q points are there. For IB is equal to 200 microampere, 300 microampere, 400 microampere. This is operating point first, then second, then third. And this is the cutoff region of this particular transistor, and this is the cutoff region of this particular transistor. So saturation region, cutoff region, and active region, and demonstration of Q points, which is very, very important for this purpose. Again the same Q point closer to the cutoff. This basically represents if we are nearing cutoff, then what type of output you are going to get. If this is your input, you are going to get this type of, means the output is not obtained for entire of the input cycle. So the selection of Q point is very, very important, because for every amplifier or every transistor circuit, we want that shape of the output has to be same as that of the input. Then only it will work, otherwise it will not work. So this particular graph shows that how the position of Q point will affect the output. This is another example in different view, you can say, regarding the position of the Q point. If Q point is in the cutoff region, what is going to happen? As I told you, there are three basic configurations in BJT: the common emitter, common base, common collector. These represents the basic diagram of the three configurations. This is the frequency response of a general amplifier circuit. This is very important because for any amplifier, the best test is the frequency test. If the frequency response is flat for any transistor, that transistor will be treated as the best. But unfortunately, the frequency response is not flat due to various reasons, and that flatness is disturbed, and how it is disturbed and why it is disturbed, that we will discuss later on in various lectures, and even practically also in lab you will learn, because we have frequency response of a common emitter amplifier. It practically is designed in our syllabus, the frequency response of a common emitter amplifier. There also you will get this type of output response. So the question is, why we are interested in the flat frequency response, and what are these cutoff frequencies, the lower cutoff, the upper cutoff, and the difference of the two is known as bandwidth. And if bandwidth is large, we say amplifier is good. If bandwidth is less, we say amplifier is bad. So this bandwidth is another quality of a particular amplifier. How it affects our output, that also we will discuss in our subsequent lectures. So the BJT, the FET, everywhere this response, the frequency response, plays an important role. And there the aspect is, we want that this bandwidth has to be infinite. For ideal amplifier, bandwidth has to be infinite. But as you know, in physics there is no ideal gas, no ideal solid. Ideal is only model. So we can try, we can design, we can improve to go near to a flat curve, but there are certain difficulties when we approach that we will discuss. So basic point is that in the BJT we have certain limitations. That's why we have to switch over from one type of fabrication to other type of fabrication. Thank you.